Hello everyone, it's Pat at Beads and Plenty More, and today I'm going to talk about adding beads into a longer necklace. I'm going to make a necklace that can go over the head without having a clasp, and I'm working with these shimmer beads as our little round beads and our circles to make and I laid out the design with my chain. I used 80 centimeters of the dark chain to make enough length, and then I'm going to put a larger feature bead down at the bottom here and a tassel with this SPL chain, the shiny silver, that will go at the very bottom. Now, first of all, I'm going to start by making the tassel. So I'm working with eye pins, and I also used jump rings for hooking the circles in. But now with the eye pin, I'm going to take the end of the chain and we'll hook the first link onto the wire, and then I'm going to establish what length of tassel that I want and hook in like so, and then eventually I'm going to cut the bottom link here so that we have a loose bottom on the tassel. But in order to measure, just line up the bottoms and hook in with your wire. Now I used 1.5 meters of this shiny chain in order to get a fairly full tassel. Depends a little bit on the linkage of your chain as to how many links you need to make it look fairly full. This one I kept adding until I thought it looked nice, and you don't have to get every single one equal at the bottom because it will look nicer if they're just a little bit off, so that they can hang in a mixed variety at the bottom rather than being perfectly even and it gets very thick at the bottom then. Okay, so we'll just keep adding these in until I get the full amount of the chain used up. Line up the bottom and then poke through there. This is a very simple and easy thing to make, a chain tassel, and they look really nice on necklaces. Oh, might not have enough for my last loop, but I'll just have a, oh yeah, I do. Oh, we'll hook right into the very end one. There we go. So that's my tassel all set up. Now I'm going to give a fairly big loop for it to go into. So I'll create a loop here like that with my round pliers, and I'll slide all of these links into that loop. I don't think I've got the loop quite large enough for the, go up here further and create an even bigger loop because it's quite a bit of a chain. I want them all to go into that circle like that. Then I'm going to take this and close this up. Now you could use regular wire, you don't need to use an eye pin. It's just that I had the eye pins for the other part of the necklace and I wanted to make everything match, so I used the eye pin that I was using for hooking my beads in so that I could have an exact match of color. Okay, so I got a loose one here. Oh, we'll just let that one go. It won't become part of my tassel. Just center that up so that it's sitting nice and even like that. Now, I'm going to cut the eye pin off of this because I don't need it. And my big center piece here is going to go onto this unit now. There we go. And then I will create a loop here that will hook into my the two raw ends of my chain. Because this is a fairly big chain, I need to make a loop that will be big enough to hook. Oh, we'll hook this side in first. There. And there. And then I'll just get this tightened right down. And if you find you have a little bit too much wire, always better than not having enough. You can wrap it around in keyring style like that and get a little bit of a stronger loop. Okay, so that's how I made the chain tassel, and I will go ahead and cut the bottoms of all of these, and this little piece will just get cut off. And we have a beautiful little chain tassel there. Now, adding the beads in, I've taken the eye pin and made a second side the same as the eye pin, and with the rings I used 5mm jump rings. They will hook nicely onto the rings. So I will go ahead and show you with the eye pin with one of these beads. We'll take this one here, and so I drop it down like that, and we want them to sit the same direction. That's very important. Like this is going this way, so when I make the loop, I'm going to bend it this direction so that then I'll bring the loop around and match it up. So we'll go ahead and cut off. When I'm trying to match the eye pin loop on the other side, you always want to start with maybe making it a little bit too big, and then you can always make it a bit smaller, and I'll show you how to go ahead and go about making it smaller. Oops, I got that not sitting just quite right. Bend it over a little bit. So now we'll do the circle. And yes, I do have it a bit too big. So what you do when you get it too big, take your cutters and just take a little piece off this end here. Like that. Then proceed to finish your loop. Now I do indeed have them going two different directions. So what I'll do is take the chain nose plier, hold one side, and turn the other one. So that's what you can do because we do want them to both go the same way when you hook it into the chain. Now, hooking into the chain, if I'm going to put this one, say, about here, well, we've got this one ready to go down lower. So I will take the cutters and we'll select where we want this to go, and generally just cut one side of a chain because it's very tough to go through both sides at the same time. And you might, if you're thinking that you're going to set your design off, you might want to take out a little bit of chain to equal the amount of that you're adding in. Now, my design, I've done 3 to 4 centimeters between each of my groups of design. So as you're going along, you can measure that amount. So now I've got this double eye pin here. So I'll just release the one side off to the side, hook in the chain that's over here, and then close that up again. So it might be a good idea to prepare all your units and then start to insert them so that you have everything ready and you can see about how much space you want to put between. As I said, I used about 3 to 4 centimeters between each of my groups. Okay, so then we just tilt that little circle back in so that it matches up. So that's how we add things in. And again, with my chain tassel, I'm going to cut away this excess piece that doesn't fit in. There we are. This chain cuts between 2, and then you take each of my loops and go down to take the pliers into the center, and we'll lose one loop each time so that you end up with the loose ends instead of a loop. Actually, a chain tassel with a loop on the bottom can work very well too. So that's another design idea. You can always try all these different ideas. So keep on cutting until we have them all cut. So I will go ahead and finish attaching everything here. Again, I used the jump rings on the circles and the eye pins on the beads. And the necklace should go over the head. I won't need to put a clasp on it. Anyway, enjoy putting together a nice long necklace, and bye for now.